Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are Group 1, accompanied by Faria. Hi, Laura, Lydia, and me, Pratoy. And we're going to be talking about the digital transformation of University of Toronto Enrollment Services. Now, moving on to the agenda for tonight, we will be going through the introduction of the approaches that we have taken for studies. We will be going through the business context and environment, the organizational architecture, and the methods of transforming the business and organizational architectures and information architecture, and finally making our way to the application and systems architecture and alignment. Now, let's introduce our study briefly. The enterprise architecture and the tools that it comprises, such as business capability modeling and data modeling, was utilized in outlining and defining the as-is and to-be organizational architecture and information systems landscape for the University of Toronto's enrollment services, and assess challenges, opportunities, and anticipation for potential changes in implementing a robotic process automation RPA system. The roadmap shown here breaks down the various model techniques. In the organizational architecture section, the balanced strategy scorecard was used to outline strategy management of U of T's enrollment services, in specific clarifying enrollment services visions to develop a better understanding of enrollment services internal process. This is followed by the business model canvas, which was used to provide a high-level overview of the current business model, then the capability heat map for the purpose of understanding existing resources in executing the objectives found in Balanced Strategy Scorecard, and the IT strategy plan framework for the purpose of establishing guidelines around IT services and customer services practices. In application and systems architecture, the strategic goal diagram was used for outlining and tying functional requirements of the proposed RPA system and organizational goals of U of T's enrollment services and Archimate core layer meta model to provide a holistic view on the operations, application architecture, and technology infrastructure of the admissions process. Now, moving on to the business context and environment. The University of Toronto's enrollment services ultimately aims to attract, admit, and enroll a desirable student body for U of T in accordance to the academic policies and initiatives and campus priorities, as well as research initiatives in the areas of enrollment management. Enrollment services major client are applicants applying for admission into the university. Thus, enrollment services is heavily applicant focused. The entire business process also happens in-house because the university does not use external vendors. Enrollment services must also follow strict guidelines and regulations set by the U of T's governing council, such as domestic and international student quotas. They must uphold the screening of applications according to the policies and principles for admission to U of T 1991. A major challenge of the current business process is the speed, efficiency, and limited resources as far as human capital is concerned. For this specific reason, we strongly believe that the digital transformation is necessary to improve efficiency and applicant experience. Now, moving on to the organizational architecture, we can see that the Balanced Strategy Scorecard also lists enrollment services, current objectives, and provides feedback on the university's progress. We see that the financial and customer perspective focuses on maintaining a steady enrollment growth by maximizing outreach with present resources. Internal business perspective places a more measurable goal. For an instance, while innovation and learning perspective places an importance on experiences and satisfaction of the internal components of the department while pushing for optimized technology use. The business model canvas reveals that processing university application is only a small sub-process in enrollment services overall business model. The enrollment services business model centers around high quality customer service through marketing and outreach activities. Enrollment services is also limited by a fixed annual budget set by the governing council. Thus, enrollment services cannot transform their business model by discovering new revenue streams, but instead can only innovate their cost structure. The business capability heat map highlights that enrollment services has a very strong marketing team, finance team, IT team, a skilled workforce, and a management. The university's main competitive advantages are marketing and brand awareness because U of T is currently one of the top universities in the world. However, the university is less strong in managing their budget, their employees' time, and recruiting potential students. This may be caused by poor information, project application, and technology management. Thus, there is a great opportunity for transforming the current business process because we have the IT team, organizational culture, and the human resources to implement these changes. The guiding principles for our IT strategy is to enable a modern workplace, think enterprise first, use cloud computing services, meet common business needs through shared solutions, and examine multiple and diverse options. The goals include creating a more responsive and innovative IT service, build a secure and resilient enterprise, make smart investments, and increase the workplace agility with these modern tools. Now, talking a little bit about the transforming the business and organizational architectures. To dive into understanding the transformation process, we have devised some scenarios that could trigger evolution. In the following slides, we will look at particular scenarios that will take place externally outside the control of the Infotech team, and ones that Infotech team must respond to for sustenance of the business and competitive edge in the industry. Our first trigger scenario talks about the introduction of more online and on-campus programs by different departments of the organization that would cause an exponential increase in the admission applications. Such a scenario will be evolutionarily significant to the organization itself, but will also be outside the control of the Infotech team. Our second trigger would be a scenario where our organization would participate in a load sharing process with other similar organizations on local and global scale. Such scenario is inevitable once criteria of admission is standardized all across the industry. Such a trigger would require a cloud sharing and remote processing resources and capabilities as a response to balance the organizational resources on multiple levels. Moving on, our third scenario is branching out of the organization on local as well as global scales. In such case, offshore branches, in order to maintain the standards established by the home branch, would require cloud sharing and remote processing capabilities. It is noteworthy that this evolutionary scenario for the organization will not be in control of the Infotech team. And lastly, our last scenario describes a local and global digitalization of the industry standards, which could be a process started from the outside of the organization itself or from the other departments from within the organization. An evolutionary process such as this will not be in control of Infotech team, but will impact them greatly. An example of such process would be the introduction of standardized forms of transcripts and certificates in local and global scale. In this case, a more efficient processing of these standardized documents will be needed. Now, moving on to the information architecture, I would like to hand it over to Hai to talk more through the rest of the slides.
Thanks, Pratoy. So I'll be talking about our proposed information architecture to facilitate enterprise-wide information management. The as-is information management state is a highly manual and inefficient process requiring a lot of time from the enrollment staff. When the applicant submits their application online and pays the required fees, the admissions office receives an automatic notification information that the application has been submitted along with the application details. The applicant also receives an acknowledgement email containing their receipt, and the application includes an online form, and PDF documents. For the both online forms and PDF documents are processed by the enrollment staff. For the online forms, they retrieve the submitted forms and manually enter the student's data into the student information system. For the PDF documents containing official transcripts and other supporting documents, the enrollment staff opens the attached PDF documents and check whether the transcript is from Ontario or from external institutions. If they're from external institutions, the transcript is sent to the third-party agency, which evaluates the transcript and provides course and degree equivalency. Once the transcript has been assessed, they enter the relevant data into an Excel spreadsheet, which subsequently gets transferred to the student enrollment management system by manually. The staff then calculates the student's GPA and generates metrics. If the student meets the criteria for admission, then the enrollment staff sends the students' essays, video interviews, and CV, along others, to the academic committee in charge of accepting or rejecting applications. The academic committee receives them by email and examines each document thoroughly. Based on certain criteria, they make decisions and notify the enrollment office by email regarding their decisions. Consequently, the enrollment team sends a letter of acceptance or rejection to the applicant by mail. Many information management related issues arise from this current process. Specifically, there are high error rates resulting in poor data quality, such as inconsistency and inaccuracy and duplicacy in data. In addition, it takes a lot of time for the academic committee to manually evaluate every document and make decisions. Therefore, our team proposes to implement an RPA solution to address data organization and governance challenges. The RPA will automatically receive the applications and process them. The bot will open and read the PDF documents and automatically identify relevant information such as GPA scores. They will do this by using OCR. OCR is a technology that is incorporating RPA tools, which is able to recognize printed text from a scanned document and convert them into data. The bot will then enter the data into the student information system. With regards to making decisions, the bot will help the academic committee make recommendations by using machine learning algorithm. It automatically performs calculations and makes predictions based on the historical data from past participants. It will recommend which applicants to accept or reject, which will save time for the academic committee and help them to make more informed decisions. I'll now talk about the application and systems architecture. So the enrollment systems currently uses a database to store student information, which is a CRM system to intake incoming applications and a spreadsheet application for data entry and manipulation. With the current system landscape, admission staff are able to meet the tight deadlines of the admissions season. Some students' admissions are submitted late, and students often face troubles with travel documents, specifically for international students. And as admission quotas are increased, more students may receive delayed offers. Next, we're going to talk about the current applications and information system landscape. This is a strategic goal diagram showing which parties are dependent on each other. There are 4 actors: students, the university, the enrollment staff, and IT systems. The students depend on the enrollment staff for timely admission decision. The university also depends on the enrollment staff to meet specific deadlines and stay within budget to admit students for the new year. The enrollment staff depends on the IT system to remain reliable so they can get their work done on time. They also depend on the IT system to process the application documents and send admission decisions to the students. This arithmetic diagram shows the current landscape. The application systems layer shows 2 system interfaces that an employee connects to in the process of going through applications. The employee uses a spreadsheet to translate the transcript. The application documents are accessed using the student enrollment management CRM, and the information from the applications are inputted into ROSI. The interaction between the CRM system and ROSI is shown as a collaboration, as they both input and access information from a central student information database, as shown in the technology layer. Apart from the databases, the technology layer also shows the application server and the application software, the CRM system, as a node, and the node represents a processing unit for a software system. Next, we're going to talk about the 2B landscape. This systems landscape, after after the implementation of an RPA system. The introduction of the RPA to the systems landscape works to centralize and aggregate much of the manual work from the enrollment staff. Staff members no longer translate the transcripts into spreadsheets. Instead, the RPA bots inputs the appropriate information in the appropriate cell using OCR technology and rules coded into its system. The inputting for applicant information into the student information system is also done by the bot. In this new process, the enrollment officers are only tasked with looking at the documentation and making admission decisions. This new approach is only available after the application of RPA technology, and this approach lessens human error in the data entry step and allows for more time in the decision-making step. Less backlog of applications means students can receive their admission results faster. The only changes in this Archimedes diagram compared to the previous one include the addition of the RPA system in the application systems layer, shown here in blue, and the addition of RPA software in the technology layer, shown here in green. The database is now shown to be connected to ETL tools within a data warehouse, which is also within the technology layer. So now I'll be talking about alignment issues. Strategic alignment is based on the strategic fit and functional integration. For strategic execution, enrollment services business strategy is connected to the information and application infrastructure because U of T's strong IT team, access to the technological resources, skilled staff, and innovative culture provides the university the organizational infrastructure and culture to support a new information system infrastructure. For technology transformation, our IT strategy will support the business strategy through business improvement, which IT initiatives will help by streamlining business and its processes and save resources by eliminating duplicate and unnecessary activities. The second item that the IT strategy will support is business enabling. IT will transform and extend how the University of Toronto conducts business, and the university will become more focused on top-line aspects of the business. And lastly, infrastructure, software, communications, and data infrastructure will support the overall business operations. Overall, the university's IT strategy will ensure that IT will align with the university's growth plans and will prevent future issues through a strong IT architecture and infrastructure. For competitive potential, the RPA trend is impacting our business strategy because the increasingly competitive higher education environment and the rising number of applications are leading to higher expenses and increased workloads for enrollment services. At the same time, applicants expect a high-level customer service and engagement opportunities, in other words, events, promotional materials, and on-campus visits to help them decide which institution to attend. RPA is a technology solution that provides cost savings, efficiency gains, and improved service delivery while avoiding the disrupted and costly process of implementing a new core system. Therefore, the external business environment is pushing the university to adopt RPA because other universities are using the technology, are able to release acceptance or rejection letters earlier, which allows them to secure more high achieving applicants. Additionally, the university may lose its strong brand awareness. The enrollment service is spending more time processing applications, while competing universities are maximizing their time reaching out to strong potential applicants around the world. Lastly, for service level, the IT and information system architecture and processes provide a service organization to support the potential for emerging technology to change or alter organizational processes. We will build a world-class IT and information system infrastructure to ensure the effective use of IT resources and be responsive to growing and fast-changing demands of our end users. This concludes our presentation. Thank you for listening.